Hey, morning everyone. Back to where I left off. Yeah, I started seeing the number 33 everywhere. Like I said, I was researching into what it meant, what's the significance of it, and it was all pointing towards like Jesus and God and the Holy Trinity and like Jesus and that. Yeah, and I was baffled. I was thinking, wow, what? So it was. So the realization I came to, whatever it was that saved me, was of divine intervention. It was either it was an angel or it was Jesus himself or something. It was one of them to do with God and Jesus, and yeah, it was mad. I started thinking, wow, like what is that? Really, like, is this all real? And then as soon as I'd looked into it and I'd like seen that, you know, what it all meant, and it was about Jesus and stuff, and like it was like a calling from Jesus for me. It was like Jesus was calling me to do something. Well, obviously, this was years ago, and I was just only starting to understand it. Well, starting to get my head around it just slightly what it was, and yeah, I'd sort of figured out what it was, and then the next day I've went about my day, I've went work and stuff, and I wasn't seeing the numbers everywhere as much, but every time I'd think about it, like Jesus, I'd think of Jesus, or I'd think of it, I'd see it. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, and it was like a reminder for me to tell me that, it is all real. It's real, Luke. Like, if the number 33, God, Jesus, everything, it's all signs that are pointing towards something. And I was just like, wow, mad. And then I'd finished my shift, and my brother was coming over for a holiday. I was living with my dad at the time in Cyprus, and my brother and my sister and friends were coming over for a holiday, and we've been out in a taxi going somewhere, and this was after I've cut my knee and I've cut my arm and everything, and I got into this taxi, and we all got in the taxi, and I've never met this man before, the taxi driver, and I've got in straight away, and I've noticed he had like a Jesus cross on, a gold one, and I've sat down, and he had like shorts and t-shirt on, and I've been speaking to him and stuff, and he's asked me how did it cut my knee and my head and my arm and that, and I was like, oh, I had a crash the other day, and yeah, it was mad, and he was like, "All right, mate. Well, I didn't even tell him. I just because I didn't tell no one about this. None of my family, none of my friends, my dad, because I just thought, wow, I can't tell them yet because I don't even know what's going on." And the taxi driver, he turned around and said to me, "You're gonna have to go to the mountain." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What do you mean the mountain?" He was like, "You have to go to the mountain. That's where you need to go." And I was like, "What?" And I didn't even tell him about the number 33. I didn't tell him about anything, you know. It was just mad. And he was like, "You're gonna have to go to the mountain." And then I got out of the taxi, and he just said to me, "Remember the mountain." And and then yeah, I went about